fact, the OnePlus 11 and the OnePlus 11R have launched recently, and both these phones run Oxygen OS 13. Popular opinion, most OnePlus fans are not happy with the company after it integrated Oxygen OS with ColorOS codebase. And unpopular opinion, I'm actually enjoying my time with the OnePlus 11 and the 11R because of Oxygen OS 13. So, if you don't know me yet, I'm Arshad, you're watching Track and Tech English, and I'll tell you 5 reasons why the Oxygen OS experience is better than you think. The first good thing I'd like to highlight about Oxygen OS is that you get a mostly clean install with a few OnePlus apps and of course Google's suite of apps. There are very few pre-installed so-called bloatware apps on OnePlus phones as opposed to many other Android brands out there. The brands that I'm talking about take every single opportunity to pre-install apps that are mostly of no use to you or send you unwanted notifications without your permission. But if you have your consent, then you can hit the bell icon right next to the subscribe button. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button as well so we can send you a notification whenever we put out an awesome new tech video. Now, a fresh install of OnePlus 11, and I counted it, has only 37 pre-installed apps, which is of course a very good number because certain other phones in the same price category pre-install like 50 to 60 apps. Furthermore, at install, only 31.1 GB of internal storage was taken up of the 256 internal storage that's available on the phone. Another hallmark of OnePlus phones is that they've always been very smooth apart from of course being fast. Now, while high refresh rate displays and a good touch response rate is one part of the equation, there are a couple of other things that OnePlus does right. And one of the things is the HyperTouch engine. Essentially, OnePlus tweaks the Android layer, the Linux layer, and the app layer at every individual level to ensure that your phone runs smooth. In fact, it is only now that most other brands are playing catch up. And when I'm using the OnePlus 11 and the 11R, the smoothness is almost unparalleled. The only word that I can think of is it glides. Oxygen OS 13 of course also gives you a ton of customization options which you're probably already aware of. You can add your own icon packs, you can change the fonts, you can pick the system color based on the wallpaper's colors, and you can also add edge lighting and of course a whole lot more. And the always on display, which of course is a very popular feature, has a couple of more enhancements in Oxygen OS 13. For example, OnePlus is tied up with Spotify, and when you're playing Spotify music, you can actually have playback controls on the always on display itself. It's pretty useful. And that apart, your food delivery status when you actually order food from food apps is displayed on the always on display now. Pretty useful. Now let's talk about the more important things. With the OnePlus 11, we got the promise of 4 years of software updates and 5 years of security updates. Now, how do you think OnePlus has managed to make that promise in the first place? Because this wasn't the case earlier, right? OnePlus wouldn't give you that many updates. OnePlus can make the promise because of that code base integration. When you consolidate things, it becomes easier to actually, implement them as well. Although I genuinely hope that OnePlus lives up to those promises, but at least you can breathe a sigh of relief because you've got 4 years promise from the brand. The other big thing that I wanted to talk about is the OnePlus specific branded apps that you get with both the 11 and the 11R. Now, these are not very unique, but they're useful nonetheless. We're all aware of Zen mode, and OnePlus has been tweaking that time and again. Now, there are times when there are a lot of products that come in. We have to do a lot of testing, reviewing for you guys, and this is the season for that. And work does get stressful. And in these times, I've genuinely used the Zen mode to switch off for 30 minutes. I keep the phone on the side and keep everything on the side and just listen to music because I love listening to music. You guys are aware of that. And it just helps me refocus and get back to work. Then there's the work-life balance option, which lets you switch on a work mode in which you can set your work timings and also pick the apps that can send you notifications. This is a feature I've used a lot, especially when I'm writing scripts. In fact, when I was writing this script as well, the work mode was on the OnePlus 11. But what really ties the Oxygen OS 13 experience are the little things. I'd mentioned it in my OnePlus 11 review as well. If you haven't watched it yet, a link should pop up right now. Go check it out. But now, whenever you copy anything, you get a clipboard. And from that clipboard itself, you can edit a text if you want to, and then copy and paste it into any other platform. It's very, very useful and a simple little tweak that just enhances your user experience. Now, haptic feedback with OHaptics is absolutely sublime. It's a very, very tight response that you get with it. But the way OnePlus has integrated it with the system level UI and animations is also pretty interesting. For example, when you scroll the app drawer, you'll get an individual vibration feedback for when the letters change. And you'll get the same step level vibration feedback when you're changing the volume or changing the brightness slider as well. One other thing that I wanted to mention is that Android 13 specific features have also been integrated really well in Oxygen OS 13. One immediate thing that comes to mind is the music playback control that's available now in the notification drawer when you slide it down. You've also got Google Lens integration, and OnePlus also supports RCS for messages. OnePlus really does work very closely with Google to ensure that you've got a very good Android experience. Let's not forget the floating toolbar, the 2-finger swipe up to put 2 apps in a split screen mode. All of these are features that have been added after user feedback that OnePlus takes from OnePlus community, which is very, very strong. Honestly, if you look at it with an open mind, Oxygen OS 13 has a lot to offer, and it does feel like Oxygen OS from the past is coming back. Yes, there are some kinks that are still left to iron out, so we'll wait for that to happen with Oxygen OS 14 and 15 and future updates, but OnePlus is listening to its community and it's getting its groove back. For those who have used Oxygen OS 13, you will know that it does feel better now. But if you do feel any different, let me know in the comment section below, because you've been using OnePlus phones for a long time as well, and it'll be great for us to have a nice civil discussion out there. So that's it for the video, guys. I hope you liked it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.